Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading for October 3rd. We're going to jump right in here, Pisces, and we're going to take a look at your general energies in this first row here. Then we're going to look and see what you don't see coming in this second row right here. In your next row, we're going to take a look and see if there are any messages from your future self here. On top of all that, we're going to clarify this whole entire reading, and then we're going to clarify it again, kind of like I did last week with the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. And then I'm going to do something else different at the end, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. You start off with this Treasure Island card. This is an as above, so below card. You also have this Uncharted Sea card and this Choose Your Words Carefully card in the area of messages from your future self. So it's like you're manifesting things very quickly. I feel like there's a lot of attention on you, Pisces. And I've said this before, but, you know, we're entering, and you have the star here, so this is why I'm saying this. You know, we're entering into like the age of Aquarius, which everybody, I believe, needs to be kind of like their own little star. I believe that everybody needs to stand out in their own little way, whatever that means for you. It could be in love, in business, in spirituality, pretty much in any area of your life. But I feel like you're going to be manifesting things in front of you very quickly. You have that Sphinx card, and again, it's really standing out to me that your future self is really saying that you're manifesting things very, very quickly into your life. And I would just make sure that you focus on exactly what you want. I know I always say this to you, but Ten of Swords, Tower, you do have the star here. I don't really hate the Tower with the star, because the star comes up after the Tower. It kind of represents a healing, and that row is actually looking pretty good. You have the Ace of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles, which is like everything you want in your life. So, you know, is that such a bad thing? I don't know. We'll find out when we clarify, but what I would say here is that, you know, this is the as above, so below card, so I'd make sure you're focusing on what you want. You have the Six of Swords, the Ten of Swords, and the Star. Again, some of you could be healing after a loss with the Ten of Swords, the Tower showing up here. You know, with that, you have the Knight of Wands, the Five of Wands, and the Devil. Could have been like a confusing or just a, you know, inconsistent situation that you're leaving behind. But I really feel there are blessings coming in for you here, Pisces. You have this right here. He's making the symbol with his hands, which is the same symbol that the Hierophant is making, and it kind of represents blessings. I really feel you need to focus on the blessings that are about to come in for you. And again, I get this feeling of like a lot of people watching you. I feel this is, number one, great if you're on social media, but number two, you know, I really feel people are, again, looking up to you at this time. It is like very important for your soul's journey, I believe, for you to be a star, for you, and I'm not saying famous, I'm saying inspiring other people with your story. This could be literally like on, you know, through writing a book, through having a YouTube channel, but it could also just be, you know, again, I think that people shouldn't sell themselves short. It could be something very small that you do that inspires someone else. And, you know, it's kind of like the whole butterfly effect thing. It's like it kind of spills over, right? So even if you're doing something small, even if you're breaking free from some sort of limiting situation, someone sees you doing it and it inspires them, that's enough, right? And I feel like this star is kind of saying that. I also feel like you're seeing the big picture in a situation. I need more clarity on this. I feel confused about this big picture, but I kind of feel like you're confusing yourself here, and I do feel this is work or business related, where you're kind of like, you know, I think you're making something too complicated in work or business. It could be so much more simple, let's put it that way. You have the Six of Swords, moving on to calmer shores. Again, this woman and the child in this boat, they're making a complete sacrifice, you know? They're leaving everything behind them on the shores behind them, and they're moving on to the other side in hopes of a brighter future. So they're making a complete sacrifice, and they're being guided away. This guy here, he represents a guide. And maybe you've been stuck for a long time, or things haven't been moving forward in a certain area of your life. And I feel like you're kind of being guided towards just something bigger and better. So let's clarify through this here, Pisces. With the Six of Swords, you have the Knight of Wands. Again, you could be moving on from inconsistent energy in general. Could be a person, doesn't have to be. You could just be moving on from, you know, businesses or work that's inconsistent. I would actually, just looking at all these cards, I would encourage you to have some sort of order to your day with these cards. You know, we're entering into this like heavy retrograde time, which I always talk about, but it's gonna be hard to have order, especially if you're not like me, right? You know, I'm a Gemini moon too. It's like there is no order to my day, except I force myself like to do 4 videos a day, right? That's like the one thing I do for this channel. is like I've committed to that. So, I would like form some sort of commitment in your life, especially in work or health with the Knight of Wands twice in your reading. It could also just be towards a desire, something you desire to create in your life. I feel like if you're setting up some sort of like one action a day or something you could do, you'll be very successful. With the Ten of Swords, you have the King of Swords. Very decisive energy here. I feel like judgment was called on something with that Ten of Swords that could have brought something to an ending. This is very like calculated energy as well. I'm kind of getting, I don't know what the word I'm getting is like statistics or something like that. I feel very nerdy with this card for you, Pisces. It's like someone is crunching numbers here in my head. We're going to look into that in a minute. And with the Star card, you have the Eight of Pentacles. There you go, crunching numbers. Eight of Pentacles is kind of focusing on work. And like I said, I do feel that some of you are focusing on work. I do feel like that's what you should be doing. But again, I wouldn't overcomplicate things. He is working just on one thing. He's focused on his pentacles. He's not focusing on anything else. He's focusing at the task that's in front of him. And that's exactly what I'd be doing if I were you at this time. I feel that's going to lead to the most success for sure. Next, in the area of what you don't see coming, you have this Uncharted Sea card. Again, I feel that there are things that you just don't see coming in general. I feel for a lot of you that you're entering into uncharted territory. That's exactly what I would be doing. I'm pretty sure last week's reading, I said something. I literally think I said something about uncharted territory or something like that. And here you go. You have this card. I've been saying since like 2017 or sooner or earlier, I should say, that everything you want is on the other side of something you've never done before. I feel like this is true for the collective in general, but there are a couple of signs that I feel it's more true for. Definitely you, Pisces. I feel that, again, Pisces is being called to stand out in some way, to do things that they've never done before. This is in all areas of your life, not just one area of your life, but every area of your life. Because, again, if you do that, you're going to be kind of inspiring people. You have the Tower, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Ten of Pentacles here. The Tower could be a Tower moment. Some of you could be moving, by the way. You have the Tower. You have the Five of Wands. It's a very conflicted, though, energy here. Look, it's like, I want to go on an adventure. I'm not sure if I should go on an adventure. The Five of Wands really encourages you to go on an adventure. It's a card I call Indiana Jones. To me, it's about going through some sort of like crazy temple to find your treasure. So that's what I would say here. I would also say that for some of you, this could be about being brought back down to reality, and there could be some sort of, kind of reality moment this month of October, I feel, where you're kind of coming back down to earth. And we're going to have to clarify this and see where that's going. You have the Ace of Pentacles as your center card, though. There's like a big opportunity in front of you, and I feel like this opportunity is going to require work. You can see these mountains in the background here, and also, again, in this diagonal, we go through to the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands is clearly work. It's clearly, going on some sort of crazy adventure, like I said, but I feel if you accept this pentacle into your life, it's going to lead to a lot of success, whatever it is here, Pisces. Kind of feel like it's multiple things for you here, but I feel like it's saying that it's multiple supporting elements. Those are literally the words that are popping into my head with the Ace of Pentacles. And what I mean by that is, like, if you have a business, it's like maybe you're kind of starting multiple businesses, but maybe it's kind of like under the same business, if that makes sense, where it's like maybe you have a YouTube channel and you're also selling products, kind of like different businesses, but they could be related in some way. That's how it's popping into my head. Or maybe you have a YouTube channel and you're starting a podcast like I did, right? Or something like that. So, I kind of feel like everything is, you're creating like an ecosystem, if that makes sense, around your business. And I feel like that's going to lead to the most success. But everything works together. That's the difference here. I feel like you're not necessarily creating like different things. It's like everything is under the same roof. I hope that makes sense with the Ace of Pentacles. I'm also feeling it here on the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is everything you want in your life. It's a tree of life. So I really feel that you can kind of have it all. Can we really ever have it all? I would say probably not. I feel like it's something that we should work towards, though. I think it's a worthy goal, of course. But this is an amazing card for love, by the way, if you're looking for love. I wouldn't call this a love reading yet. I'd say there's too much business focus here or work focus. Or you could be focused on your health as well. And I feel like that would be a good idea for you with these cards. But, what I would say here is that this is like everything you want. So whatever that is for you. I feel there's a lot of success coming in for you, but I really feel that, again, you're kind of creating this energy around you where everything is working together. I love this for you because, again, even if you want love, but you're focused on business, I feel like you're creating this like ecosystem, like I said, around you. And I feel like because you're doing that, you're naturally attracting like the things that you want, people, places, things, experiences. And again, I definitely feel there could be like some shakeups here because you have that Uncharted Sea card and the Tower. So you might not be sure, exactly where you're going here, but let's see, Pisces. And we're going to clarify this once more. With the Tower, you have the King of Wands here. For a lot of you, I feel like you need to nurture something. Again, if you're building this ecosystem in your life, I feel like you need to nurture it. For some of you, definitely could be dealing with a fire sign here. Could be a Tower moment with a fire sign for some of you, but again, take it how it resonates. For others, I feel like this could just be a surprise, just in general. Again, I don't look at the Tower as always a bad thing. To me, it can be a good thing, but I kind of feel like something is being brought to reality. That's the best way I can put it. For some of you, I'm wondering if it's like the work you have to do in something. Here's the thing. Is that I'm going to show you here. It's kind of hard to see, but he has salamanders on his cloak. He has salamanders on his cloak. The Five of Wands kind of like a risk. You have the Knight of Wands here as well. Whenever I get these like risk cards, the salamanders in the tarot, they represent protection from fire. This to me could say that you are taking some sort of risk to go to uncharted territory, to uncharted seas, somewhere you've never been before, and you're hoping that it pays off, which I feel like it will. With the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Strength card. I feel like you've been very strong. Again, I really feel all eyes on you at this time, Pisces. You have the Star. The Strength card is like you doing something that people see as strong. I always say, who in their right mind would stick their hands in a lion's mouth? The answer is nobody. So it's like you are being seen as this woman right here. It doesn't matter what gender you are, but you're being seen as someone who can, tame a beast, someone who is very strong and powerful and successful. So, again, I feel there's a lot of success, but again, I would be focusing on the inspiration. You're not doing this to show off. This isn't like an ego thing, right? You're doing something hard maybe because it's the right thing to do or because you want to be successful and other people are just noticing it. That's what I'm getting here. With the Ten of Pentacles, you have the Two Wands. You have to leave where you have always been, Pisces. I said this to you in your last reading. He's standing at the top of the castle. He's standing where he has always been, but he has a whole world in his hands. Again, he's like standing there. He rushed to a finish line. He got something he wants and he thinks, this is it. There's nothing more for me. But he has a whole world in his hands. The story is that he rushed to a finish line. So, he didn't enjoy the journey. And this is really a card of learning to enjoy life's journey. Everything that goes along with it. The good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. Learning to enjoy it and then continuing the journey, right? Because that's all we can do, basically. You have this Sphinx card. It says, choose your words carefully. Again, I would be very careful of the words that you're using, the things that you're saying. I literally feel like you could be saying things and things could be happening like the next day or within hours. And again, I don't want to make this sound more dramatic than it needs to be, but I would just kind of make sure that you're manifesting the things you want and being careful with your words here. Because again, I feel like you're just manifesting things very quickly. By the way, this is the area of messages from your future self. And you have the Five of Wands, the Knight of Wands, and the Devil. Again, I would be careful of inconsistent energy, especially if you dealt with someone who is inconsistent. This person could be the devil. I always say, like, to me, I think that some readers are just too dramatic. I'm not calling anyone out here, but it's like the devil could just be a person that has, toxic addictions, but it could also just be someone who has, ties to the past. They could just have, anything. It could be, and it doesn't even have to be love, right? It could just be toxic people in your life in general who steal your time. The thing with the devil is that you can easily set yourself free. They have these kind of very loose chains around their neck, and they're meant to look very loose. It's meant to look like they could just lift those chains off their neck. So I feel like you could just easily set yourself free, and maybe you need to do that. The Knight of Wands, adventure. Again, you have the Knight of Wands twice. I really feel he's encouraging you to, again, go on some sort of adventure. I would encourage you to look towards the new in life in general. He's not afraid to be spontaneous. He's not afraid to look for different ways of doing things. That's where he finds the most success. So that's what I'd be doing if I were you. And you have the Five of Wands. Again, Indiana Jones. This whole entire reading, everything about it, even sphinxes in the tarot, like on the Chariot card, they represent mystery. I feel like everything you want is going to be in something maybe more mysterious, like a new business idea, or just doing something you've never done before. Again, if you're like adding businesses onto your business, like I was talking about earlier, maybe you're not exactly sure how you're going to do it, but I feel like you're going to be very successful. With the Five of Wands, you have the Tower. Again, definitely could be some Tower moments that you have been experiencing. I feel like this is something that you've been experiencing. But, like I said, life, we all experience the tower. I have a feeling this could be another one of those weeks where the tower comes up a lot. We could just be seeing tower moments happen in the world, just in general. You could be being grounded in reality. Again, we're going to look into this more in just a minute. With the Knight of Wands, you have the Four of Pentacles. Again, if there's a person in your life who can't let go of you, I would just say, I would be careful of this situation. Four of Pentacles, holding on too tightly to the past, right? So I would be careful of this. Again, if someone's coming back and they're totally different, they're totally changed, fine. But, I'd say if they're exactly the same, then maybe not. With the Devil, you have the Emperor here. See, I'm wondering if this is you trying to control a situation here, Pisces, is what I would say to you. I'm not calling you out here, but Knight of Wands, Devil, Four of Pentacles, the Emperor here. It's like, trying to hold on to, not like, I feel like you're just trying to control outcomes. I almost feel like you'll get everything you want if you just release. Again, you have these cards of like manifestation here, like crazy. So I would just be careful of the control thing. You might be feeling like you want to be more in control, especially if you've been experiencing tower moments. So I would just be careful of that as well. But we're going to do the altogether clarification here. So we're going to kind of put all these pieces of the puzzle together and see where this is going for you. It's like I feel like some of you could be realizing that you don't have control, and that there is power to that, and just kind of like letting go and just allowing your life to happen. With the Six of Swords and the Knight of Wands, you have this generosity card. Again, I feel like you are being generous by kind of being an example for other people, which is exactly what I feel you should be doing here. So, I would keep doing that, like I was saying. With the Ten of Swords and the King of Swords, you have this escape card. So again, some of you could be definitely escaping a toxic situation here. For some of you, I almost feel like you're getting lucky actually on this card. That's not what this card represents, but just intuitively, I kind of feel like just like a lucky, kind of like a, feel like, I don't want to say I feel like I'm getting away with something, but I feel like I'm getting out of something here with this generosity card. So, but again, it feels very lucky. And again, it kind of looks like the Chariot. It's funny, I was talking about the Chariot, and you have a Chariot. This is a Chariot, but it's not the Chariot card. And, it's right there. I almost feel like that King of Swords. Remember what I said? It's almost like Judgment was called here. And, maybe that's more from like your guides or something like that. With the Star and the Eight of Pentacles, you have the Convention card. I do not like this card because I don't think convention is a good idea right now. Convention is the way things have always been done. Convention just represents what people's expectations or society's expectations. I feel that maybe something like this needs to be broken away from. Like if you feel like there are certain expectations, I would avoid those expectations, plain and simple. With the Tower and the King of Wands, you have this impulsiveness card. Mars retrograde. We don't have Mars retrograde yet. It will be at the end of the month. It doesn't matter. I would be very careful of impulsive actions. Some of you could have experienced a tower moment because of impulsiveness. Again, this guy's like rushing. It's kind of reminding me of the Knight of Swords here. And this is Mars and Aries. So, again, Mars energy. But again, someone could have made a decision, or maybe you made a decision that was impulsive, and it could have led to a tower moment. We'll look into that. That is like a lucky card, though. There's that horseshoe on there. With the Ace of Pentacles and the Strength card, you have this Affair card. Some of you could, of course, be dealing with a liar, cheater, stealer, or someone who got you involved into some sort of affair or something. But other than that, I actually feel pretty good about this. Like if you're attracting love or if you're wanting love, there could be love coming in for you. Definitely could be a fire sign. You have a lot of fire in your reading in general. Leo and Aries stand out to me the most. Could be any sign. But, again, definitely could be love coming in for you. With the Ten of Pentacles and the Two of Wands, you have this Revenge card. I would avoid a revenge at this time. It's crazy. This card has come up a lot. In the October readings, this came up a lot as well. It's funny because I was saying to someone that this card reminds me of like Hawk Totem medicine. The whole point of Hawk Totem medicine is to, realize that you could cut someone's head off with your words. But the whole point of the Hawk Totem medicine is that you don't do it. It's kind of like, there's a saying, it's better to be a warrior in the garden than it is to be a gardener in the war. It's kind of like that. It's like, and it's like the whole martial arts thing. Like if you've ever seen anything about martial arts, it's like most martial artists, it's like, the really good ones is like they could totally destroy a person with their fists, but they don't, right? It's like they try to avoid conflict at all costs. It's like you could, but you don't. And I'm kind of getting that feeling here of being the bigger person or needing to be the bigger person. With the Five of Wands in the Tower, you have this fulfillment card. I actually feel there could be fulfillment coming in for you. Again, I think it's interesting that there's a boat here. So it's going to be on the other side of something you've never done before. This is Saturn and Sagittarius. You're going to have to put the work in to go on an adventure to find this fulfillment. And maybe you're going to have to create other tower moments. It's kind of funny because, it's like I feel that some of you maybe have experienced a tower moment. And to get out of the tower moment, you're going to have to create other tower moments as well. It's almost like the devil is saying, like, maybe you created a business, for example. Maybe it's very successful for you, but maybe you don't like it, or you want to create something else, right? So it's kind of like a tower because you're being brought down to reality. You're realizing that you're attached to something you don't want to be attached to. So it's like you have to create a tower moment to go have another tower moment to create something new. It's kind of weird how that's popping into my head. With the Knight of Wands and the Four of Pentacles, you have this publicity card. I told you, all eyes on you, Pisces. You're doing something very inspiring. Again, you could be doing things that people they're like, how the hell did Pisces do that? I'm telling you right now, this is the story of your life for the rest of your life, Pisces, because we have Neptune in Pisces and also Jupiter in Pisces. Jupiter is leaving Pisces at the end of this year, of course. It's currently retrograding back into Pisces, or it will be. And what I would say is this is amazing, but really you have 12 years until it comes back around. So for the next 12 years, you're going to be working on this energy. And I would really encourage you to kind of focus on getting positive attention. We're not talking about, negative attention, ego-based attention. We're talking about doing the right thing, doing something that your heart tells you to do that seems hard, impossible, difficult to do. Like maybe you want to start some sort of multinational corporation that's like, saving pandas or something like that. I don't know. Could be anything, right? If anyone could do it, it's you, Pisces. And again, you're going to get a lot of attention. People are going to call you crazy. People are going to say this is impossible, blah, 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 blah. That's what I say to those people. Staple their mouth shut in your head, right? That's what you need to do here because you will be successful. Maybe you love a person, right? But maybe it's impossible, or you feel like it's impossible to be with this person. I would just go for it, right? Maybe you're in love with Keanu Reeves or something like that. Go for it, right? I don't know. Anything's possible is what I would say. So go for it, Pisces. With the Devil and the Emperor here, you have this caution card. Again, I would be cautious of trying to take control of situations. There is no control, right? It's like once you release, it's not even like, I don't even think it's about releasing the need for control for you, Pisces. I think it's just realizing that there is no control. There is nothing to control, right? There is nothing. It's like we are all kind of like on this, think about it. We're in a rock living on a rock that spins at 1,000 miles an hour, hurtling through space. It's like, that's worse than a roller coaster in my mind. There is no control. There is nothing we can control. So I would let that go. I would definitely be careful of anything that you feel bound to or any toxic situations in your life as well. I'm not pulling 3 yes/no questions. I am pulling 3 cards, and I want you to think of a question here, Pisces. I'm going to answer your question as if it were a personal question. So think your question right now. Feel free to pause this, and I'm going to try to pretend like I know what your question is. I'm going to answer it right now here, Pisces. So Pisces, you have the Temperance card, the Judgment card, and the Four of Cups. So this is like a personal reading for you here, kind of based off of a question that you have. I feel for some of you that, again, judgment has been called in a situation. I feel like you might be trying to turn a situation around here. Four of Cups is like things not working out. Or it's a card of contemplation and apathy. What I would say to you is that both of these cards, hold on, these 2 cards here represent needing to mix 2 things together. Like if you're trying to, follow your purpose with the Judgment card here, or if you're feeling called to do anything at all, period. The Temperance card, of course, says be patient, but the Four of Cups to me says there have been disappointments in a situation in the past. And the Four of Cups to me says you need to mix all the ingredients together. To me, the Four of Cups says that, you're basically manifesting the things you want. It's like trying to manifest a cake. The Four of Cups represents what you are manifesting is the flour, sugar, and the eggs. It's like everything has to be mixed together so that you can bake the cake. And the reason he's disappointed is because he doesn't have a cake, but he has everything he needs to bake the cake, right? Right in front of him. So I feel you need to follow your inner voice. I feel you're being called to do something, whether it's business, love, spirituality, or otherwise. I mean, this fits in really well with the reading. So you might be asking about whatever's going on here. And I feel like you need to kind of like make the change. Like, look, these people are standing in their coffins. They're being called out by their higher self angel. The coffin represents their old life. The outside of the coffin represents their new life. I feel like there's something you've dreamed about, your 10 of Pentacles, that you've never experienced. And I really feel this reading is like saying, no, Pisces, if there was ever a person that truly could have and deserves their 10 of Pentacles, whatever that is for you, it's for you. And people are going to see you get it. That's the thing. So I would go for it here, Pisces. I feel there's a lot of success for you here. Love it. So thank you for being here, Pisces. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.